The other church is a mystery to me. Perhaps I should keep that in mind. The shelf is peppered with dead flies. Some still twitch with the last remnants of life. The shelf is peppered. The statue's hands appear to be missing. The statue's hands appear to be missing. That's not right. What on earth is that? This could be orb activity. Nothing. It's a coat of arms. It's a coat of arms. The camera has captured something. Thursday. The vicar lost Thursday. Thursday. The vicar lost Thursday. Good afternoon, Vicar. May I speak with you?
Oh, very well, if you must, for time and tide wait for no man.
I found this on the notice board. It appears to be a service plan for next Thursday.
Oh, dearie me, yes, I lost Thursday. I'm always losing Thursday. Bless you, young man. My week is complete. Oh, goodness, I'm late delivering Thursday to the flower arrangers. The WI women create the most lovely arrangements. A true symphony of petal, bud and leaf. Take Thursday and give it to Nanny Noah. She'll know what to do.
Yes, I'm sure I can do that. I was planning to return to Saxton once my business here is finished.
Business? Oh, how very odd. What business?
Does the name Ager mean anything to you?
Ager? Ager? Yes, that name does ring a bell. Let me see.
I believe the Agers lived nearby.
It's a very old name in these parts, so I wouldn't doubt it. There's a William Ager buried in the churchyard, along with his ancestors.
Did the Agers have strong connections with Northville Church?
Oh, good heavens, yes. Thomas Ager, who died in 1799, was a rector of this very church. I must say that I am thrilled you find our history so interesting.
What happened to Thomas Ager?
It's interesting that you should ask, as there's a whiff of mystery surrounding his later years. He came into a large sum of money, most of which he ploughed straight back into the church. When money is given to such a worthwhile cause, people tend to accept, no questions asked.
Did Thomas Ager have a large family?
The Agers were a very large family in Thomas's time. Slowly the family number decreased and finally vanished some years ago. William was the last, poor wretched soul. He drove himself to an early grave, you know. He was in a terrible state. The family line was drawing to a close, and he feared there would be nobody to carry the family name. I always sensed that he carried with him a terrible burden, a secret of some description. Perhaps it was a family secret, passed down from one generation to the next. I dare say old Thomas Ager would have shared the burden in his time. But that is all in the past, and we must always look to the future.
Can I ask some other questions? Can I ask you about the church?
Of course you may. Go ahead.
Who is that in the painting?
Ah, that's my great. Oh, he's an ancestor, a very old one. He was vicar of this parish for 50 years, back in the 18th century. He knew a thing or two about keeping the heathen masses subdued. I can only wish I shared his talent in that department. I must say, it is wonderful to meet someone of your generation who is interested in our history. What makes you so different?
It comes naturally. I've always been interested in history.
Motivation is always a good thing, no matter what the cause. The devil makes work for idle hands, you know.
How long have you been vicar of this church?
A very short time. I moved back to this area 30 years ago. I'm still new to the parish.
30 years? I'm 30 years old. Why do people still see you as an outsider?
There are families around Northfield with ancestry dating back to the Doomsday Book. I am a very new arrival, you see.
Who is the statue of the sleeping man?
I have no idea. There are those who know these things, find them interesting, but I am not one of them. That statue takes up valuable church space and is a distraction to the congregation. It is a trial to keep their attention at the best of times.
It gives off a strange atmosphere, almost as if that corner of the church was special in some way.
Special? I have not noticed anything special.
Do you play the violin?
No, not for an awfully long time. There just are not enough hours in the day. The Lord, in all his generosity, provides ample time for contemplation, but my violin will have to wait.
I bet this old church has secrets.
Oh dear, you young people are so adventurous these days. Always looking for darkness in forgotten corners, mystery in your own shadow. But I dare say this building has seen some horrors, mystery, and intrigue. They say the building is built upon an Anglo-Saxon sanctuary of reflection, whatever that means. If you are interested in such things, which you obviously are, you should speak with old Russet. You can find him in the churchyard.
Can I ask some other questions? Can I ask about the churchyard?
I'll help you if I can.
Do you mind the crows? They seem to own the church.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. I cannot dislike the crows, dear boy. They are all God's creatures. Do the crows frighten you?
No, they don't frighten me. Why do you ask?
The old faith in these parts believed that the crows were spies and messengers of the Dark Lords and Earth Gods. Silly, superstitious nonsense. Although I must admit that they do seem to watch our progress through life with envious eyes.
The churchyard is kept very well for such an isolated spot.
Oh yes, Mr. Russet keeps the place looking spick and span, and he's not hiding from the crows. He hates the feathered fiends. They terrify him, in fact.
Why is the church so isolated?
The Black Death, my boy, the Black Death. There was once a thriving community based around the church tower. When the disease struck the village, it came with no warning. Whole generations were lost overnight. Terrible, terrible tragedy. No evidence of the old village remain, as many of the buildings are now hidden by the encroaching woodland beyond the church wall.
Can I ask some other questions? I'll have a look around, if you don't mind.
Feel free to wander God's house.
large black crows. Three crowns, a link to the legend. Large black crows. The graveyard is well kept for somewhere so isolated. The church window contains stained glass, illustrating Bible stories. A pile of rubble, masonry, and broken gravestones, covered in weeds and flowers. Nature is taking back what was borrowed. That's not right. That's not right.
Down and down.
Excuse me,
Down we
may I
go.
disturb you?
No worries, lad. You don't disturb me.
Can you spare me a few moments? I have some questions.
I'm rather busy, lad. If I can get my work done, I'll have some time for you.
I'll get on with my visit.
Whatever be pleasing you, lad. whether they find it.
The church window contains stained glass, illustrating Bible stories. The ch- Decorative gravestone. A rusty metal letter. No one has been through there for decades. A pile of rubble, masonry, and broken gravestones, covered in weeds and flowers. Nature is taking... A pile of nature is... Is that a crown? Yes, definitely a crown. A rusty metal letter. Thomas Ager. Did Thomas Ager kill a man? Did he know the location of the crown? Did Thomas Ager large? A rusty metal letter. The gravestone is missing letters. No one has... a rusty metal letter. That's Tom Oliver. So now I know. The gravestone is complete. Excuse me, may I disturb you?
No worries, lad. You don't disturb me.
I finished putting poor old Tom back together.
That you have, lad. He's looking on you kindly now. I've got more time for your questions, if you have something to ask.
Why are there so many crows in the churchyard?
They say there's a crow for every soul in this yard. They do. Watch how they be looking at you. The bad side of a crow's gaze has been known to strike a man down where he stands.
Does the name Ager mean anything to you?
Agers, is it? I should have known. What you be wanting with them?
Was there a connection between the Agers and the legend of the Anglo-Saxon crown?
There's talk that those Agers knew the location of that last crown, and I'm guessing they weren't the only ones. People don't go looking for things that don't need finding. The people of the Fens are superstitious folk, you know. They believe in the old ways, the ways of the land. It's best not to disturb them who sleep.
What connections do the Agers have with the church?
Oh, that's a good one. Thomas Ager was a rector of this parish 200 years past. Odd fellow he was. Greedy and deceitful. We ain't allowed to talk about him to the vicar. He won't hear a bad word against him. But I can tell you there was darkness in his heart. Old Nick knew it. Some say it cost him his life. Poor old Nick.
Where can I find out more about the Ager family?
William Ager. He died in the 40s. Terrible for him it was. He died of tuberculosis. Water on the lungs. I heard he was near hysterical. Terrified that there'd be no one left to carry the family name. You see, some folks say the Aegers were guarding a great secret, entrusted to the family for centuries. I'd start with the museum folks in Saxton, or old Nanny Noah. She knows a thing or two.
Did you know any of the Aeger family?
Yes, I knew William Aeger. Not personally, but I knew of him. He wasn't, how shall I say this, quite right in the head. A bit simple, if you know what I mean. Oh, this was back in the 1940s. Aeger didn't go to fight. He was sickly. Bad breathing, bad heart, bad everything. They say the family spread their seed too thinly. Deformities and so forth.
Can I ask about something else?
Go ahead, lad.
The church is very isolated. Why is that?
A great plague. The Black Death. 12th century it was. A terrible time, lad. Truly terrible. Dead littered the streets and lanes of Northfield. Cattle and livestock roamed the country, unattended. Brother deserted brother. Mother deserted her young. 1/3 of the people died, all across Europe. Timber buildings soon rot away, and there ain't nothing to show for Northfield. It's a ghost of its former self.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Aye, that I do. The friends we have in life are still with us.
Are there any ghosts here at Northfield?
Aye, I'd say so. Old Nick walks this churchyard after dark. He's looking for something, that's for sure. You've probably met old Nick. He's in the church, laid out on his back, poor devil. I be reckoning he's the one you want to see. A word of warning, though. Be careful how you're looking on him.
What do you think ghosts are?
Well, I never. What a question. I can't say I know. Spirits, maybe? Those who need to move on. There's something they have to know. Or something they want to tell us. Maybe they've got unfinished business with the living. Either way, I don't bother them and they don't bother me.
Can I come back here tonight to ghost hunt?
Hunting ghosts, is it? Those who go looking for the dead are asking for trouble. You watch what you're doing. The dead folk of Northfield won't take kindly to any disrespect. But if you're determined, I'm thinking I might leave the doors open tonight and light you a few candles.
Can I ask about something else?
Go ahead, lad.
I'll get on with my visit.
Be seeing you, laddie. Be seeing you. It ain't right, and he knows.
I think I've collected enough information from here. Time to return to town. Nothing ventured. Good afternoon. May I explore the museum?
Of course. That's why it's here.
Thanks. I'm Nigel, by the way. Nigel Danvers.
How interesting. I'm Oogle, Professor Oogle, the curator of this museum.
Is there an entrance fee?
Normally, yes. But the museum is free during public holidays.
Should I be looking out for anything in particular?
Many of our exhibits are unusual or rare. What are you looking for in particular?
What can you tell me about the lost Anglo-Saxon crown?
Is it lost? Something that has yet to be found is not necessarily lost.
I'm not sure I understand.
If something has remained hidden through centuries of upheaval and mischief, do you really think you have the right to disturb its slumber?
Does the name Aeger mean anything to you?
The Aegers lived for many centuries out by Northfield. The family home still stands on Raven Lane.
Where can I learn more about them?
Here, of course. There are some exhibits with Aeger connections. The murder and the mystery man may well be of interest.
Could I borrow an exhibit for a séance or similar experiment?
The answer is no. Be warned, our security cameras are everywhere. We see all.
May I ask you about something else?
Yes, but do make your mind up.
Would it be possible to return here tonight to ghost hunt?
Certainly not. Some of our exhibits are priceless. We can't have students running around looking for ghouls and goblins.
Is the museum haunted?
Saxon has many old buildings, young man, which have played host to many characters. I believe some may be reluctant to leave the homes they once knew.
Thank you for your time.
It is my job to help. Information is free, but feel free to donate to our fund. Filming or tampering in the museum.
That's not right. That's not right.
Many archaeologists believe there is treasure